Good morning. It's the 17th day of November 2025. It's a lovely day here. I'm down on the farm. I think it's beneficiary or some name like that. A ridiculous username anyway with a number after it. Posted on one of my videos there about Donald Trump, the recent videos, about him rattling cages and about him on the BBC, that Donald Trump is a paedophile. And he says there's no fool like an old fool. And the statement, there's no fool like an old fool, doesn't make any sense to me. I cannot put that sentence into any type of logic or common sense. But the first bit does make common sense. It's a serious allegation, and it will be deleted from my website as soon as this video is finished. Why? Well, if Donald Trump were to sue for his good name, I wouldn't have a leg to stand on. I have no evidence that he's a paedophile at all. I'd be very surprised if he were. Now, Jeffrey Epstein is much in the news and the Epstein files, and there is a lot of pressure on Trump and other politicians to open up what's in there. There may be reasons why they're not opened up. Sometimes there can be, if there were pending prosecutions or anything like that. I don't know. Trump has fallen out with Madeleine Taylor Greene, who was a huge supporter over this. So there is cracks appearing with his loyal supporters. However, Robert Maxwell was a newspaper magnate. I remember him well. I had no idea what religion he was, but he squandered or got rid of or mishandled or was responsible for not handling the pension funds of the workers of his newspapers. They thought they were paying into a pension fund, and it was all gone. I often wonder how they did. Does anyone know any of them? How did they do? They were impoverished by this. So he must have been a bit of a rascal. Now, he fell off a boat or was jumped off a boat down around the Azores, and his body was found. And he was buried in the Mount of Olives in a huge ceremony in Israel. He was treated like royalty in Israel, and very few get to bury in the Mount of Olives, which overlooks the old city of Jerusalem. It's a very much reserved Jewish burial ground. So that was him. His daughter Ghislaine was a big supporter of Jeffrey Epstein. She worked with him. She was involved in gathering up young people for abuse, and she got 20 years imprisonment for her trouble. She's still serving that sentence. She has said that Trump is not involved. Now, what Epstein did was, he had hotels and rooms, specially constructed buildings, and in one American one, there were rows and rows of decorated bed or rooms with massage couches on them. And it was ostensibly, or on the face of it, a massage parlour. But he had little cameras embedded in the ceilings. And when the rich and famous came in to do their thing, usually him inviting them in, they were photographed and they were filmed. And we don't know what is on that film. Now, there may be reasons, as I say, for not publishing it. Now, it's over this that Trump has taken umbrage or taken exception to Madeleine Taylor Greene. But there isn't any evidence that he was involved in the paedophilia activity. There is none. And until that comes out, definitely I'm not going to point the finger at him. He has a lot of enemies who would gladly like to see him caught up in this. That's not fair. But over time, we may find out more. Now, the thing about Trump is, and there's a lot of supporters of Trump on here, I don't give anyone a clean bill of health either. He faces terrible direct challenges, not of his own making. New York is after allowing in hundreds of thousands of migrants from countries with no education. They can't even speak their own language. They're illiterate. They live off the state, and of course they give them votes, and they're after electing Razanjani, this fella, a first-generation immigrant from Africa. and he's now the mayor, and he's promising free food and looking after them 100%. The governor of New York has said she will, it's a woman I think, she will make sure that they don't get ICE or the immigration services in around New York. So we can see it's a cancer, this migration that's taken place, and Trump is performing well there. No one else would have done what he's doing, and that is going to help save America if it's not too late. Now, you could say allegations of child abuse could be serious. Nothing like the allegations of taking over a whole country and transplanting the population of New York. The police are fleeing. People with houses, with money, with anything, they're all getting out as quick as they can. This is a nightmare situation for America. We have it here too, and in America and in Europe we have it also. Okay, so there is also a bit of footage of Ingram. Is she Laurie Ingram, or she's an interviewer anyway, where he said we need 100,000 Chinese into the universities of America and then to study to become high-tech people. Now, if that's the case, he is essentially saying that the Chinese student is better than the American student, and I don't agree with that. We'll see how that develops. Also, some of his economic policies now are a bit funny. But on many areas, he's doing good. For example, General Motors has had massive bankruptcies. They've laid off 17,000 staff. They went head over heels into electric vehicles, and nobody wants them. And Trump is pulling back all that green stuff that would have brought America down, is bringing General Motors down. But if we can reverse that, it might help a bit. But it has to be said that the last trillion of investment, the last trillion of borrowing, sorry, I said investment, I made a mistake. The last $1 trillion borrowed by the American government for the Federal Reserve and to run the country was in the shortest period ever before. In other words, I think it's 38 billion. I think that's it. It's around that. But the move from 35 to 36 billion, 36 to 37, took a lot of months, a good few months. Usually I think around 8 months. This happened in a much faster period. So the borrowing roller coaster is not being stopped. Even Trump or none of them can stop the massive borrowing that's going on and the massive inflation that comes on its tails. Enoch Powell, he was a unionist MP in South Down. He was a British nationalist politician and a member of the Conservative Party, He said all political careers ultimately end in failure. And really there is something in that. Is there any political career that didn't end in failure? I'm not so sure if there is. Margaret Thatcher played a blinder for years. Still got her out. But you can comment on that if you wish. So that's the story. I don't make any apologies. Nobody will accuse another human being of being a paedophile on my channel without backup and solid evidence. I will not allow it. I won't tolerate it. I don't care who they are. I don't care what their rank is or how low they are or where they work or what they don't do or what they don't do. They're still entitled to have their good name protected until the opposite is shown. Okay, comment underneath. That's a nice short video. Less than 9 minutes. Good luck. Bye-bye. Thank you.